In this training video, we're going to have a look at how you can extend Gearlog's normal inspections tool to allow you to develop more sophisticated inspections of your own. These, which we call custom inspections, enable you to guide your users more thoroughly in how to inspect certain categories of equipment and enable you to capture more information when those inspections are conducted. The example we'll use in our training demo is of doing a vehicle walk around before it's used on an activity. In that situation, a simple good or monitor may not be enough of a record to show the checks that have been carried out on that vehicle. To access our custom inspections tool, we're going to head to the tool menu and choose custom inspections. You can apply these custom tools both to your inspection records, but also, if you want, to those records you create to represent the use of equipment as well. We don't currently have any frameworks on the platform, no custom inspections, because it's our training demo set. Let's add a new one to get started. Name the inspection whatever you want, and also give it a description. So we'll call this one our truck walk around, and you could put a detailed description in there yourself as well. And we're going to choose to apply this one to inspection records so that when we inspect a vehicle, a truck in this case, we would expect this to pop up for us. Let's save that new framework. So at the moment, we've created a new framework, but it's not very useful because it doesn't ask for any additional information and it's not yet linked to a category of equipment. Let's pop it open and fix both of those things. First thing is, what categories of equipment should this custom framework be offered on? We will add this to our vehicles category. Now, whenever we inspect a vehicle, we will be offered this as a possible way to conduct that inspection. The second section enables you to develop a simple questionnaire that will be shown to the user for them to complete. Let's add a few questions so you get a general idea and leave it as a working exercise for yourself to observe that you would, of course, create longer questionnaires with more questions on potentially. Hit plus to start adding a question. Let's put our first question being a quick check of the oil level in the car. This one doesn't have a unit. It is mandatory that the users must fill it in for us. And it's the first question we're going to ask them. We'll place it order 1 and we'll give them a little pick list for this one. So we'll choose a pick list question that we could say that it is low, medium or high. Those are 3 options for that question. Next question we'd like is for them to check whether the lights on the vehicle are working. So we'll create a question called all lights working. Again, no particular unit for this one. Again, mandatory that the user checks it. We'll offer this one up as second and we'll make this one a simple yes or no question. Let's add one more so you just get the general idea. Imagine we also wanted to have our users check the tyre tread depth on each of the 4 wheels. We could add a question for that. So we'll say driver front tread depth. For this one, we'll have a unit. We'll make it millimeters. Mandatory question the user must fill in this case, yes. Be the third question that we would ask. Question type of this one will be a number and 0 or more. Save. And of course, you would then continue to add 3 more questions for each of the other tyres on the vehicle and then include other questions. For example, is the vehicle clean and tidy? Has it got first aid and warning triangle present? Etc, etc. But those 3 questions are probably enough to give you a general sense of how this tool works. If you make mistakes on your questions, you simply click the little pencil to edit those, or if you don't get rid of a question, the little trash can on it to delete it. Do bear in mind that if you've used a custom framework on actual inspections, you can no longer edit those questions because you would invalidate that historic inspection. Instead, you would create a new version of the questionnaire, perhaps call it version 2 or the year that it was created in, and start to use that new one instead without affecting the older historic inspections. We've now created our first custom framework. We've put some questions on it and we've associated it with the category vehicles. Let's have a look what happens now when we go to inspect a vehicle. So we will head over to our equipment menu. On our filter panel, let's filter down and just have a look at the category of vehicles. One of those is in our training data set. Let's pop it open and have a look at that. If we now want to inspect this vehicle, without that custom framework in place, we would simply be given the option to make some comments and give it a status, for example, monitor or quarantine. With the custom inspection in place, we can capture a lot more detail. As you'll know from some of our other training videos, to start an inspection of a piece of equipment, we're going to hit the eye on it. What's happened in this situation is, rather than seeing our standard inspection, which would look something like this, with a status and some comments, instead, the platform has spotted that I have created a custom framework for my account, associated it with this category, and has popped that up for me. The questions we created are laid out below, so as we conduct that vehicle walk around, we can populate those. We'll say that the oil level is high, the lights are all working, but the front tread depth is a little bit low at 2 millimeters. Overall, we're going to give the vehicle a status of good, an inspection date performed by myself, and ready to save that record and commit it onto the platform. Having saved that custom inspection record, when we look at the inspection section of this piece of equipment, as we would expect, we see its inspection records below, with the most recent one here at the top. If we scroll along, rather than just a simple status, we now see that it was inspected using a framework supplement, and scrolling down we can see those answers to those questions that we provided. Hopefully that gives you a useful overview of one of our more powerful tools, the custom inspections tool, and you can then go forward from this video to start creating your own custom inspections. Obviously yours are going to have more questions, a greater level of depth, and be used on a wider range of categories. But hopefully you've learned enough from this video to get started yourself.